In the latest Beyond the Gate spoilers, the drama takes a devastating turn when Eva's world comes crashing down after she learns the shocking truth about Leslie and Carlton, a revelation that sends her into an emotional and physical collapse. Everything she thought she knew about loyalty, love, and trust is destroyed in a matter of moments, as the true scope of Carlton's deceit and Leslie's involvement finally comes to light. The storyline begins with Eva growing increasingly suspicious of Carlton's secretive behavior. For weeks, she's noticed inconsistencies in his stories, unexplained phone calls, and subtle moments when he seems more focused on something or someone else. Carlton had always portrayed himself as a sophisticated businessman with a mysterious past, but what Eva discovers is far darker and more personal than she ever imagined. It all comes to a head when Leslie, who had been pretending to be Eva's friend and confidant, finally slips up. A confrontation between the two women turns unexpectedly volatile. Leslie, caught between guilt and arrogance, lets slip a name and a date that don't align with the story she'd been telling. Eva, alarmed, begins to connect the dots, realizing that Leslie's connection to Carlton isn't coincidental at all. Unable to shake the unease, Eva does her own digging, going through Carlton's files and uncovering documents that leave her stunned. The name Leslie Grant isn't real. It's one of several aliases tied to a larger scheme that Carlton has been orchestrating for months. Even worse, she discovers that Carlton has been using her company and her personal connections as leverage for an elaborate financial and emotional con. When Eva confronts Carlton, the truth finally comes out. Carlton admits that he had come into her life under false pretenses. He wasn't a self-made entrepreneur as he claimed. He was a former associate of Eva's late husband, who had been secretly plotting revenge for a past betrayal tied to a hidden business deal. Leslie, it turns out, wasn't just a friend Eva met by chance. She was Carlton's partner in the scheme, assigned to get close to Eva, earn her trust, and keep tabs on her every move. The revelation shatters Eva completely. The man she had allowed into her home and her heart, the man she believed she could finally build a future with, had been deceiving her from the very start. Her trust had been weaponized, her vulnerability exploited, and her kindness turned into a tool for revenge. As Carlton's cold and calculated confession pours out, Eva's emotional state deteriorates rapidly. When Leslie tries to intervene, perhaps out of guilt or panic, Eva snaps. Her fury turns to heartbreak as she realizes that both of them had been playing her. Every smile, every comforting word, every shared memory, all fabricated to manipulate her. The stress and emotional overload become too much for Eva's body to handle. Her breathing quickens, her vision blurs, and she collapses right in front of them. The aftermath of her collapse throws both Leslie and Carlton into chaos. Carlton, despite his ruthlessness, appears momentarily shaken, not because of love, but because his plan may now spiral out of control. Leslie, on the other hand, is overwhelmed by guilt. Watching Eva, a woman who genuinely cared for her, lying unconscious, forces Leslie to confront the consequences of what she's done. Paramedics are called, and Eva is rushed to the hospital. As she lies in a fragile state, unconscious and hooked up to monitors, the guilt begins to consume Leslie. She starts questioning everything: her loyalty to Carlton, the choices that brought her to this point, and whether she can ever atone for her part in destroying Eva's life. Carlton, meanwhile, begins to worry that Eva's collapse could attract unwanted attention from the authorities, especially if anyone uncovers the paper trail linking him to the fraudulent deals he used her company to mask. His perfect plan is suddenly in jeopardy, and now he must decide whether to cut Leslie loose or risk exposure trying to keep her in line. As word of Eva's collapse